morning, afternoon, I don't know, whatever time you're watching this video. But what I will say we're doing today, we're going to get into this carb, figure out if it can be saved or not, because on the last video, we saw it run on the floor there, and it won't quite return to its idle status for some reason, whether there's something wrong on the inside of it or whatnot. So let's go ahead, let's get started. All right, so actually before we get into that, super huge thanks to James, again, the same guy who I built the Super Pro 125 101 AA, that one hanging up back there above my head here. Guy got all the parts and everything for that. Super huge thank you. And he knew this thing needed parts and everything, so fresh from Canada, more parts, which we're not going to be putting on this video, I don't think, pretty sure. But we have a good rear handle, complete with wooden skewer for the buttons, so that's why I can't do anything yet. I got to get that fixed. I got to find a rod for that. And also, you notice that has a later style button on it. I might keep that, honestly. I like it. Gives it character. But he also did include the early style on and off switch and a 1/2 inch sprocket for this. And I kind of have an idea I'm going to do with this. I'm going to try to see if I can find the parts to do it and everything, to go to a more modern setup, but you have to put a little bit of work into it. But it involves going to rim drive. So we'll hopefully be able to do that. So there's a 1/2 inch there, and I've got a 1/2 inch bar up there and chain that I swap between the gear drives and stuff. So we'll be able to do that for testing purposes. And what scares me, an over shiny muffler, but it's been cut up. Some stuff cut off of it and everything, and that's what's going to make it just fit in beautifully on this saw right here. So a very shiny muffler that makes me nervous because of how nice it is. So, super huge thanks, James, for selling that stuff to me. As I told him, I would rather buy directly off of people I know than eBay. I'm not saying there isn't good people on eBay. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying there's people I know that have parts and willing to ship them. I'll do it that way because I can get a picture, description, and chat with you too. So, all right, let's, and of course this has a switch on it too. Look at that. I don't think it works anymore. It's a shame. So, we'll get into this carburetor. I'll get it ripped out of here, but I want to go through over something real quick with you. All right, so I got asked by somebody, how do wind vane governors on these work? So, I'm going to butcher it up really nicely for you guys and explain that very poorly for you guys here and everything. So inside here, inside this model, there is on a lever and a flag, a wind vane governor inside. And when the saw speeds up, the air from the flywheel that's used to cool it pushes against a flag inside there that's on that rod, and that puts a force on it. That force is used on a rod in here to hook up to the linkage through it, which it isn't hooked on this. And it's used as the speed of the engine increases, it presses, the air presses on that flag, and that force is used to governor or close the carburetor butterfly, the throttle one, ever so slightly to where when it slows down, the governor arm goes back. And it creates that governor effect on this because on this model, and many others, the throttle linkage is not directly attached to the carburetor. They are independent of each other. I'll bring you in here. Let's see if I can zoom in. No, hold on. Bring you in here on this one. So, you see right here, they are not attached. What it's attached is on the carburetor here, it would be attached over here. There'd be a spot here somewhere because I'm not good. See that little rod right there? That's where the governor would be attached to on the air vane. So as you throttle up, going this direction, it opens up the butterfly more for throttle. but the air vane would kick in and close it off slightly, and it'd go rah, 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 rah. You know, it would do that kind of effect as things slow down, speed up, and everything, but it'd have a little bit of a tolerance there. So these things never really were able to see that wide open throttle effect, and it kept the speeds and everything down on them from blowing up and everything. So these ones had a 8,500 RPM max on them, set from the factory. A lot of guys like would bypass the governor on it, and then they could just run that wide open throttle, and then it would return. And it never, like I said, it never made actual contact, but it kept it in control and everything on that. So that's pretty much butchered up how the governor on these works to keep the speed down. Now, later on, they could just limit the air. They could limit the amount of fuel it got, the porting on them and stuff like that, and that would greatly reduce how much power it had too and everything. So that's how McCulloch did it in a few ways. In this one, they used the air vane, and that was just as simple as taking it off the carburetor, and you're able to run her wide open and everything, which could have inherent dangers. But this one looks to have survived, as we've seen. I think it's going to be a pretty good one right here to have fun with and everything. So we're not going to clean it yet. I'm going to get this carburetor off, and we'll probably reinstall that on another video. I just want to go through and let's see what's wrong with this carburetor, if it could be saved. Because if not, I'm going to do the dreaded, or maybe if it can't be saved, we can try to do the dreaded 090 swap to this. And I have done that to these before. I've got a D44 over there that I've done some work to that has this, and it loves it. But we're not going to just go and jump onto that one yet. I might have to steal out of another parts one. I might steal the diaphragm off of this one because my parts kit doesn't have it, but I know this carburetor runs. So I can steal diaphragms. I've got 090s in the house, everything like that. And I'll tell you, I can get this to bolt on and the linkage to bolt perfectly to it without much fuss. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's get that carburetor torn out, and let's see what's on the inside. All right, so a couple 7/16 wrenches to get these nuts and bolts off. Now, the design flaw that later on we saw happen was you have to take these bolts out all the way to be able to get the carburetor out versus loosening them up enough and sliding up on that. So there's no cutouts right here to slide that carburetor down for ease of changing out things. So that was the only biggest, that's kind of the bigger downfalls of it and everything, but it's not a bad one or anything I want to say. It's just later on it was, oh, we can make this easier on people who work on these. Let's do that. So also you can take these intakes off. There's a screw back here and a couple on the bottom, and you can port them out too. They're like 20 millimeters on the inside. You can take them as far as 24 millimeters safely, and with a Dremel tool, you split it in half, and you can go on the inside. And I did that with the D44. I had a build series on that, and it'll really take on the 090 carbs better, which these ones have a much larger diameter back here. I think there's like 22, 24. So it can breathe a little bit more, but we're not going to go and do that to this one yet. So let's get this off here, and then let's see what's going on the inside. Why are we having issues? Well, oh yeah, we've got the fuel line down there. We're just going to ask it nicely to let go. Please. Woo, that fuel line is shot. Yep. That's harder than a diamond in an ice storm. So, all right, it's clean down in there. Nice and clean. So, that's good. A little bit of oil at the bottom of the outlet on the gas tank and everything. So, it's also in there going. And I've got brand new fuel line down there. All be replaced with actual Tygon. We're going to use Tygon, but what's left of the governor, we're just going to put that right back in there and pretend we didn't see it. We'll leave the nuts and bolts in there. Let's go ahead, clean off our work surface. That's perfect. Let's see what's going on inside this carburetor here, shall we? Ooh, I'm going to give you a hint. I don't know. We'll get you set up in the different stand here, and we'll get you investigated. Where's a little light on the subject here? Shine some light. Boom. Different type. One more. There we go. All right. So, shining some light into this subject here. Now, you are just in the way today, aren't you? Nope, this just isn't going over now. So, shining some light on the subject here. I don't know if we can really save this one because all the way back, somebody has definitely been in here, and you can see that's as close as it gets for idling. And you see that air gap right at the top of the circle there for the butterfly? That's why in that last video she ran real fast, because it's not even close to being able to idle. Like, I'm kind of curious what somebody was doing inside of here. It's not even hitting the idle stop screw. Like, I'll back that out, but it's not even hitting that, so kind of makes me wonder what somebody was doing in here, if they got something backwards, but I don't even see that as a possibility. I'm just not seeing how. Yeah, somebody's been in here. They got it all messed up. We'll try to loosen up. Maybe they just didn't get it centered right in there. Because if we can't save this one, then we're definitely going to have to go with a different carburetor, unfortunately. Yeah, that came off way too easy. Got screw in there. Is it just a different position you want to sit there, or is it just something that we can't solve? Did they put the butterfly in upside down? I don't know if it has a direction or not. I don't know. I just couldn't tell y'all what somebody did in here. I mean, somebody could try to hammer the butterfly closed a little bit for idle, but I try to rotate you around 180 degrees. I imagine somebody trying to just use this up. That was the problem. Somebody put it in 180 degrees upside down, and now it closes beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. So that was the problem. Somebody got in, rebuilt this, and I could see it because somebody stamped it. And this thing probably first started. Here we go. And this thing was shelved. Could that be the story? Well, help me understand here. We're still going to rebuild it. Just that was the first problem to look for. Like, what is going on here? Why won't you return to idle? And now it can. Well, like I say, it wants to go to full throttle. Your throttle linkage is what holds it shut and everything. So as you're going forward, the wind vane presses it back to close it. So if your linkage comes off, you're going to know it real quick. It goes or slips or whatever. It's going to scream really, really, really loud. Be sure to hit the shut off and pull that rope out. There we go. Now it closes. See that? We don't have that circle in there anymore, that air gap above the throttle blade. And it goes much further back to where I can adjust for the screw. There's still a gap there, but there's going to be. So now we have figured out that problem. Somebody goobered it up, didn't get it correct. So this carburetor can be saved, hopefully. All right, let's go ahead. Let's tackle onto the inside of this thing. Hey, can you do me a quick favor? Since you're watching this, you're probably liking McCullochs and stuff like that, or learning how to rebuild and do some work like this. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like for me so we can beat the algorithm going on YouTube. That's one of the big things right now is the algorithm and everything trying to do that. So subscribe, like, leave a comment down there if this video helped you, you liked anything, you saw anything, you know, I may have not answered or you want me to tell about and everything. The governor thing on this was either it was a YouTube comment or in a group I am part of, and somebody asked about that and I explained it the best I could. So that's why I put it in this video. So like, comment, subscribe, heck, hit that bell so that you get the latest update on, which is trying to do every Friday for you guys, a video. So we can get this old girl up and running. Now, I want to ask, for those that watch this far and everything, how do you clean your saws? I'll put a poll up and ask that, more or less. How do you clean your saws, and how do you expect this? Because this has got some chipping going on right here. The paint's chipping on it. I was told it's an enamel, but then but the other day, Rich, the chainsaw guy, he said that they used a powder coating process on these. So I'm kind of curious, was it an enamel paint at first and then they powder coated? Because I could see where they sprayed a bunch of these parts, like sprayed these saws, and then later on they may have went to powder coating. Because I've seen overspray on these just countlessly. So there's like a McCulloch enamel and then a powder coat. Loosen this up so we can... Well, you're just going to have to cooperate with me, you little devil. Okay, there you go, see? So we got a note that goes directly over. Actually, we're putting new fuel line in, so we can do whatever we want. I can already see somebody was good with the oil with it. And this has probably got a bunch of oil on the inside of it, which is what we like to see. Preserves the aluminum and all the components. There's a spot right there. We're just gonna do that. You could ask it nicely too. Oh yeah, look at all the oil. That means good stuff, at least in my eyes. Has a vintage olive oil taste to it. Slightly nutty. Like you're in the Pacific Northwest and you can taste the Douglas fir being cut in the air, the sawdust. Just wonderful tasting. Oh yeah, look at all that. Now that right there, though, it's going to have to be soaked. So all that, it's telling me it's pretty dirty right inside there. Oh, yeah. But that's good. That means somebody ran their oil in this. They were not skimpy. And it probably ran 16 to 1. So we've got a good layer of oil there. It's like a hand lotion, warming hand lotion. Diaphragm is a diving board of stiffness. So no, you were not going to put gas in this tank and get it run. There's some guys that get lucky doing that, but I think it's just that you're getting luck. But see, that is not supposed to do that. Oh yeah, that's an old school one. Nope, not supposed to make crunchy sounds like potato chips. Those do sound good, though. Nothing difficult here. Just trying to encourage people to, you know, you can do this. You can work. Oh, carburetor kit on this. If anybody wants to know, it is Tillotson RK-88. You can find that on eBay. I gotta do some peeling off here. Let me get this peeled off and everything, and then we'll just dissect it more. Bring it back. I don't think I got her enough. That sucked to get off. Got a old school needle and seat setup in it versus a newer style. it grabs on over here versus it just sitting on there. So we got that. And it still seals. Alright, so to get this out to soak it, gotta take this old girl out. Sure you seal that up good. Put it in tight, whatever, because that could be a leaky spot. Suck in air, leak fuel. Keeping thumb over the needle and see so nobody goes twing and anywhere. Because a lot of the kits, they don't have the springs in them. Not the cleanest surface to rebuild a carb, but it's a surface. It doesn't look like it was used too much. I mean, it was used, but I don't know who was in this thing to really mess it up that good. So we'll do for safe keepings of that spring is put it inside the new kits. Somebody's dog is just having a happy time today. The old needle. So I don't know. We'll see if we could reuse those. The needle and seat are the big things out on the new stuff that doesn't want to work too well. So I had a high jet at one time on it. Got plugged off right there. High-speed jet. Somebody plugged it off at one point. Huh. Never seen that. Gotta get the socket to get that. Alright. And some socket or whatever that I had to take it to a bench grinder and grind it down to fit inside these. So I keep that special in the box. Firmly grasp it on reverse. Yeah, the seat's nice and oiled up. It's just wonder, do you reuse it or do you use the new stuff? You know. Of course, who knows how old that rubber is too, huh? Even being coated in oil, it's still got her age on her. So, all right. So that's everything. Now it's ready to be dipped and cleaned, and along with all the rest of the stuff here, I'll get finished tearing stuff out of it, such as this little filter screen here. Maybe. Do I tear it out? I don't know. Get that out. Do that. Get the old diaphragms and pumps and stuff out of here. And then get her soaking. We'll get you guys back. All right. So one big thing. This stuff works great. Don't leave it soak more than 20 minutes with aluminum parts. All right. You can ruin them. Stuff inside that. I got to get a new thing of this. It does the job, but I've got all that gooey stuff that tends to build up in these. At least try not to let it soak for more than 20. You might be able to get away with longer. I'm pretty sure you can. It's just there's some stuff that's just nasty on these. So what's breaking up here? Everything turning gooey again. Might have to soak that longer. Some of the gasket's still hanging into it, the cork gasket on that. Yeah, so let that go a little bit longer on those pieces there. Just one at a time, everybody here. That's good aluminum. That's not that crappy aluminum of today. Alright, pretty basic stuff here. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, just fight me all day, will ya? Alright, down inside there's a copper washer. Gotta make sure you get that out too. That could mess with your needle heights and stuff and everything. So try to fight that out of here. I'll go get this sprayed off, cleaned and everything, and then we'll have you back. Clean, cleaner, cleaner. Alright. And yeah, this has been rebuilt before because there's a couple specks of factory paint still hanging on. So somebody has had this done before. Obviously, as we saw. So this, somebody had it 1.5 out. Almost a little generous, but half, 1/2. The low was the short one and the high is the long one, for those that want to know. Just keep an eye on stuff. Half, 1. Alright, so let's get some new guts tossed into this really quick. It's old. Hold on. Since we're not going to use that carburetor, we'll have to steal the diaphragm off this one anyways. Okay, so they've made it, either it's a press fit or whatnot, but inside these, you see those? Looks like they've press fit that needle and the seat in there, so. Okay. Oh wait, no, that is the new seat. Okay, we're good. We're good. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, the old seats. Okay, the old one's over there. Now, there is a difference in height here. I'm curious on how that's going to affect stuff. See that from the new one here, the short one. So I'm kind of curious on how that's going to affect things here. Where's our old? So here's our new. I'm curious if we have to use the old stuff. And of course, ding dong me, lost it. Or it's floating around here somewhere. There's our lever. Well, it's here somewhere. We'll need you too. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. So here they are side by side. It's not much longer, it's just the hook points is what it is. So the new ones, they have a rubber tip needle and they hook in right here. The old ones are metal tipped and the rubber is inside of the seat. So, and then that's what's opposite of that, of this setup. So it can only go so deep, and no, dirty mind people. It can only go so far down into it anyway. So this will screw down, stop anyways, and then we'll just put the new setup inside. So not sure why so long on everything there, but that's fine. We'll get it tossed here together, and we'll see how she does and whatnot. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Yes, the little stuff is there, a little there. Just a smidge, just a touch. There you go. See, that's all you need. Oh yeah, I should see. Yeah, that'll see. That'll work. Alright, so the new lever. Put our spring in. Get that ready. Hook that in. Thread the needles. Get everybody haphazard lined up. Snug. And we can see the lever is slightly above. So pressed it there, held it down there, pressed it a little bit there, just to bend it down slightly, just because. Oh yeah, seals off. That's good. All right, so, all right. Let's use our gasket here. Diaphragm. Remember, gasket, then diaphragm. So you get the spacing correct. If you don't do it that way, you're going to have problems. I promise, that's a guarantee. The gasket is your spacer. Just trying to make sure here everybody's going to be happy and compliant with one another. All right, we'll put it level with the body. That feels good. All right. Let's see here. Now, these little tiny ridges, you got to be cautious. There are lots of little ridges around each one of these. That is how the gaskets and everything seal one another. Jet flying overhead. Hear it? Gaskets. Now, I've robbed from these kits before. That's why they're kind of mismatched and everything. So, yeah. All right, your gasket goes on the ridges. And then your pump diaphragm. Now, people ask about these all the time. Which one do you use? Some carbs use both. Some carbs use one. And this is the pump and everything right here. Now, some people swear that the rubber ones are better, probably, but they don't handle the ethanol fuel as well and gasoline fuel as long either. So, this one is very resistant to all those elements and works just as good. And later on, they went to these. But that tells you how old this kit is. Last time somebody was in this, because rubber is in there before. That one. Go. And if you've done number step 647, 388 correctly, you're so far at this step. So I'm going to rob, and this is a Tillotson backing here. I'm going to rob that plastic because the other one is very brittle looking. Like if I look at it wrong, it's going to not like me anymore. So we're going to rob the backing and the screen from it. No, we don't want you. I need the filter screen. So we got this nice, cool little filter screen here, which kits come with them and everything, but this is why I like having like just the parts carburetors and stuff like that. You know, they work great for this. We'll use our new gasket here. Peel off this old one, which I've used it before, but it's been set in. Just snug that because we may have to rotate it or whatever. Just leave that. Get all of our screws around the edge. wherever I put them, right there in front of my face. And then this is ready to go back in. Just a simple carburetor rebuild video. But what we did learn, somebody had been in here and had something 180 out. That's what we discovered. So that could have been a reason why it was possibly shelved. I can't see how somebody really ran this with it just screaming at idle like that, just going at it. That's what I don't understand. Nasty. So it's just, that could have been a reason why it was put up on the shelf. It was ran a short time after it was done, and somebody's like, well, I don't understand, and whatever, nobody could figure it out, and that's it. That was the end of her life. And it looks like it was a running cutting saw before it was put up, based on all the grime and the dirt and stuff on it. At least the stuff that's under the dirt. So that's kind of my suspicion. Somebody just didn't know what they were doing. See, really simple, really easy to do. Bucket of that carb cleaner stuff, 20 bucks, goes a long ways for soaking stuff, helping to break up. Carburetors are simple, easy to do. Pretty stoked to get this going. I got to get a rod, like I said, for that rear handle. That's like a store run or something. Maybe a really long bolt. Something. But other than that, we get into that and everything. So, like I said, what do you guys use for cleaning? What would you use for cleaning on this thing? Now, you've got old pitch, we've got old sawdust, but we want to try to preserve and save as much of the paint as possible. So, I don't know. I've used a lot of stuff in the past and a toothbrush, and it'll work. I can imagine what it's going to be like underneath the side cover that has not been off in eons. We will do that together. Unfortunately, like I say, I've got some stuff I got to do today. So that's why I'm not going as far on this. It's a nice day outside. I'm going to be starting insulation of the garage, the back wall that's towards the sun, to help keep that out a little bit and stuff. And as we go around the garage, we'll insulate it and stuff, have tear crap off the walls, insulate, put it back up, and stuff like that. So that's going to be the goal here. Daughter's birthday's coming up here real shortly. So we got to finish up a homemade dollhouse that's in makings. Wife and her friend are doing. Got to get the table saw out. I got a new one of those, or new to me, behind me. Needs wire. It works. I'll use it for this, but I'm going to be redoing the wiring, and maybe we'll do a video on that, just going through the old girl. Who knows? I'm no electrician, but I know some basics. And then we'll clock that the way it was. Snug. And it's not leaking, so it's holding, I guess. So, alright, there it is. Carburetor, cleaned, beautiful, shiny, ready to go, guys. So, sorry if this video seemed a little winded and stuff. I'm not the greatest editor in the world, and I do all of it on my cell phone. So, it's definitely one of those, probably seemed a little dry video. So, but I'm glad we found that problem, what it more or less was, and be able to get to that point. We'll turn this idle screw to where it's just starting to open this. Or at least close to. And then we'll get it put back in there. Like I said, we got a bunch of cleaning to do and stuff in here first. This is all nasty. I don't want to put this shiny inside there. So, lots to do. So, I just want to say thanks for watching. And I say like, comment, subscribe for more of this and everything. Who knows what the next future chainsaw is going to be. I have no idea. I don't even have it. I mean, I do have other ones, but we'll get to it and stuff like that. So, just want to say thank you, and thanks to all those who support my channel and everything. I did put it up on Instagram, but last at the stats show, only 17% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. Out of 1,843 as of the time I made this video. So, help me out. Hit that sub button. You know you're going to be back for all this good stuff that we're doing and whatnot. And I'll just say, thanks for watching. Continuous support from all the people who have making this possible and everything. Till then, be nice, be kind, have a great evening.